Can I find a way to escape this madness? Lift my people from all this pain. Raise my daughter to be a good woman. Live a life that's not in vain. It's not hard to explain. I want a life that's beautiful. Life that's beautiful. We don't trust them. They don't trust us. We don't trust each other. Conflict is a must. We got war abroad. We got war at home. Paranoid people packing guns like cell phones. Need inspiration. Rise up to hold it down. Sick of seeing young bodies laying on the ground. We got to organize like they used to do. You wanna make it beautiful, you gotta stay true. Can I find a way to escape this madness? Lift my people from all this pain. Raise my daughter to be a good woman. Live a life that's not in vain. It's not hard to explain. I want a life that's beautiful. Life that's beautiful. Life that's beautiful. Life that's beautiful. I know good people, lives in the right lane, say the right thing, manage life and maintain. They dream every night, they pray every day, they build for the future and live for the day. The world is full of possibilities, don't accept what you are, cause that's all that you see. Elevate your spirit, liberate your mind, your life's transformation will come in due time. Can I find a way to escape this madness? Lift my people from all this pain. Raise my daughter to be a good woman. Live a life that's not in vain. It's not hard to explain. I want a life that's beautiful. Life that's beautiful. Life that's beautiful. Life that's beautiful. I'm not saying that it's easy. I'm not saying that it's hard. But I know you can make it. If you believe in God, make something out of nothing. Be the best that you are. And you can make life so beautiful. Life so beautiful. Can I find a way to escape this madness? Lift my people from all this pain. Raise my daughter to be a good woman. Live a life that's not in vain. It's not hard to explain. I want a life that's beautiful. Life that's beautiful. Life that's beautiful. Life that's beautiful. To escape this madness, lift my people from all this pain. Raise my daughter to be a good woman. Live a life that's not in vain. It's not hard to explain.
I got that 10K the other day, but it's already gone away. I had some bills that I had to pay.
Right now, you would think that by now I've got this, and I don't think I do. Like when they point the button, I'm really supposed to start talking. I don't know. I feel like I need a lead up or something. Anyway, hi everyone. Welcome. You are tuned into Minding Our Black-Owned Business with host me, Tenille Jackson. So I didn't have a show last week. I had a replay, and thank you all for tuning into the replay of Torre Muhammad and myself. But if this is your first time tuning in, Minding Our Black-Owned Business is all about me highlighting Black business owners that are doing great things or people that I feel need to be amplified in some kind of way, tell their story, tell their journey, and kind of take it from there. So I'm always happy to be here, really happy to be an owner of What's in It for the Black People Media. Just kind of, sometimes I like to put that out there. But I'm really proud of our programming and proud of all that we've got going on. And more than anything, I'm more thankful for our audience. I know we couldn't do this without our audience. I know that we could not do this with especially 12 hours of programming, some days 15, 16 hours of programming. So I just appreciate all of you all and thank you all for being tuned in to Minding Our Black-Owned Business today. Today, we're going to talk about debt. Being in debt, getting in debt, how to get out of debt. And I've got a great lady that's coming on. Her name is Toni Husbands, and she's a member of my Mom Squad. I will do my best not to make this a parenting in a pandemic podcast and stick to minding our Black-owned business. But in a few minutes, we'll have Toni Husbands come on, and I'm super excited to have her. But as always, with anything that I do, I've got some good old-fashioned church announcements. And I got to shout out Mary. Hey, Mary. Hello. Hey, can we hear Mary? Okay.
Hello, hello.
Hey, Mary, how you doing? Mary, the lady that's never on camera, but making it all happen. And hey, Ron, thank you for all that you do.
No problem, boss lady.
Shout out to Tiger Lily. I see you. Chooch. Don't hate on me. Anyway, listen, church announcements. So I want to say, first and foremost, I had lunch today. I was so hungry coming into the city. I don't know what that was about. I don't think I ate dinner. But I want to shout out Anissa from Simply Soup Salads and Sandwiches on 47th Street. She has been there for 12 years, easy. Maybe 11, but 12 years. If you all have not been there, she is come on with the church mute. Come on with the, yes, Ron, I'm right here with it. Anyway, speaking of church, Ron, this cake has your name on it. It is a lemon cake that is amazing. It actually needs to go back in the refrigerator, so we're going to do that as soon as here. And then I picked up a salad. So, Anissa, thank you so much. Simply Soup Salads and Sandwiches on 47th Street. So appreciate you for your consistency. And she's right next to Two Fish. So you can do a twofer. You can go ahead and support Anissa and then also support Yasmin, which is really nice. And that's always an amazing thing for 47th Street. I love it. So shout out to her. And if I'm going to keep my low-end love going, shout out to Midget. If you know Midget, you know Midget. If you don't know Midget, you should know Midget. But Midget, owner of Issues, she has curated a Black History, Black Business, Black Unity pop-up shop happening this Sunday from 12 to 6 on 401 North Morgan at a place called Morgan. And she has a bunch. One of the things I love about Midget, back in the day, my ex-husband and I used to own a balloon store called Aquemini Creations. What church you think I go to? I go to the church with like Kanye is the thing. I think the music is throwing me. This sounds like I'm at my daddy's church, getting ready for a whole funeral. So I was like, wait.
You got to put out at the end of your words.
Anyway, Midget is curating and has curated a pop-up shop for Black business owners. But one of the things that I love about Midget and her consistency, not just being a beauty shop salon owner, but when my ex-husband and I had a balloon store, at the time it was called Aquemini Creations. It was on 45th in Indiana. And she was our biggest supporter, just small business. Hey, I do balloons. And she made sure that, her friends and the shop friends and all that good stuff would support us when balloons weren't as popular as they are now. So shout out to Jador Decor. And I also want to shout out the 2021 Game Changers, Sib's Breakfast Club. Sybil Holloway has been doing some amazing work 4 years. She's another one, 12, 15, 20 years in the game. Sybil Holloway does her best on a daily basis to literally highlight Black business owners and making sure that those business owners, are appreciated and supported. And so recently she had the 2021 class of her Game Changers program. I'm a proud member of the 2019 Game Changers program. Mays was in the 2020 class, and people that you know and love like Alderman Stephanie Coleman and Cousin Juan are 2021 Game Changers. So I'm hoping that Sybil will provide me with some business owners that we can do some cross-promoting and highlighting. So again, if you aren't following Sybil Holloway, if you don't know who Evenetta Midget Welch is, and if you have not been to Simply Soup Salads and Sandwiches, I just gave you 3 great Black women that are doing their job in this earth and in society to really make sure that they are amplifying other business owners and doing their part as well. Which then brings me to my lead up all next month. It's Women's History Month next month. Is that cool or what? I think it's cool. I don't know. I may have more women on my show anyway, so I don't know how different this is going to be. But I will be featuring and highlighting all Black women-owned businesses during the month of March. And I'm super excited. I pulled out a classmate. I have a classmate who owns a cybersecurity company based in New York. Her name is Jessica Robinson. So she'll be joining us next week. Very impressed. I'm always impressed by everybody from Bolingbrook, just because we're from Bolingbrook. Hello. But in real life, I'm very excited. She owns a cybersecurity company. And it's not often that you see Black women like in that field and like really, really doing it up and all that good stuff. So I'll have her on next week. The week after that, I'll have Anita Poole Jeans, who recently retired. She was our sales rep for years with Comcast and a few other places. And so she started her own coaching company. So I'll have her on. So I'm very, very excited about all of that we've got going on. And then on Thursday, I'll make my announcement. I'm getting an award. I'm very excited. But I'll save it for Thursday because I'm very excited. And it's more aligned with Chicagoland Mom Squad stuff. Is Tony here? All right. Excellent. All right. So without further ado, see how that's the church way. Ron, let's do this next week. Let's just find me a better song. I'm more like
I got you.
Yeah. I love it. So very good. Thank you very much. So we're going to bring in Tony Husbands. And Tony is owner and founder of Debt Free Divas, which is a cool name in and of itself.
Thank you.
For the Mom Squad Mom, she was the lady that facilitated our Family Feud event that we did. And she's also curating something else. Come on, Tony, with the Come on, fancy. Come on, fancy. I see you. I'm sorry. I always got to stop with the fancy because when it's fancy with the lips and the hair and all that, I got to have to speak on that.
So something for you.
Yeah, thank you. Yes. So Tony and I I feel like you slid in my inbox earlier this year, right? It wasn't really before that.
Yes, because of the Family Feud game.
Yeah, so then it would have had to been last year. So at the end of last year. You just kind of you just kind of popped in my inbox and said, hey, I have an idea. And for those that know me, you would know that when you have an idea, I like for you to just go and carry that idea out. I like to be the person that says yes, and then you just go ahead and make it happen, and then I provide the support that's needed to do what needs to happen. Tony did just that. So Tony curated something that we did for the first of the year, and you're also curating something we're doing for Money Week. So we could talk about that a little bit later. But welcome to Minding Our Black-Owned Business, and welcome to What's in It for the Black People Media. How are you doing today?
I'm well. Thanks for inviting me. I'm excited.
Good. And thank you for being so flexible. Oh my gosh. I'm very transparent, Tony, with my audience about the journey I take people through as it relates to booking them and being on my show. So we can keep all the details to ourselves, but thank you.
It's all good.
I'm deeply looking at you and saying, thank you so much. I appreciate you. Tony, tell everybody who you are. What do you do?
So my name is Tony Husbands, and I am a financial coach. And I run a site, Debt Free Divas. I've run the site for the last 10 years and basically started as a way to get the conversation going about finances. Personal finances is such a tough topic to talk about. I know this from my own experience. My husband and I paid off $107,000 of consumer debt. That does not include a house. So let's just think about that. Let that soak in. That is credit cards, student loans, car leases, back taxes. I can tell you about my tax situation. What's the thing? Timeshare, worst purchase ever. If I can do anything today, please avoid timeshares. But that's another soapbox. But again, I feel like we never met a payment we did not like. And so getting into all of that, of course, didn't happen overnight. But when the light bulb finally came on and we decided oh, wow, we can't maintain, if one little thing in this house of cards that we're building falls, then everything is going to crumble. And so we really had to start looking seriously at what we were going to do, how we were going to get out of this debt. I tell you, even though we came to a decision and like, okay, this is bad, it wasn't like we went from point A to Z all in one fell
Right.
swoop.
Because
Was
that's
a
where
lot
I want, yes, I want you, yes, definitely like slow down, take us back, because you and your husband have been married for how long?
18 years.
Okay. Did you all,
I don't feel like an old married woman, but I think I am.
18 years, you guys have 3 children, correct?
We have 3, 2 here, 1 in heaven.
Okay.
So yes.
Got it. Yep. Yes. I saw your post. So with all of that, did you all come to the table with debt?
Oh,
before
absolutely.
you got married?
Yes. So he had credit card debt. I had student loans and car notes, and yes, we came to the table with debt. Thankfully, it wasn't at the time. I would say, thankfully, we were able to manage the payments, and I think that was our things. Like, as long as we could pay the payments, and I'm talking minimum payments, then we felt like, yeah, we're doing okay. Our credit was great, so we thought we were rock stars financially.
Okay.
But again, it wasn't until I decided to. We were initially a 2-income family.
Okay.
And then I decided to leave my job so that we could pursue as a family an entrepreneurial goal. So I left my job voluntarily. And so that slashed our income by 30%. So at that point, it's just like, oh, now we actually have to pay attention to where money is going.
Let's talk about that part, because that is such a big part in owning a business, right? And I have you on here for a reason, because a lot of the feedback I get is talk about that transition between corporate to going to your own and doing all that other stuff. Do you regret the decision you made to voluntarily leave your work, your steady every 2-week check, to pursue your entrepreneurial endeavors?
Not at all. I don't.
Good.
Now, I'm not going to tell you that it wasn't
Very good.
scary.
Very good.
It wasn't, there wasn't a lot of mixed emotions, and in that process, I'm not going to tell you that everything worked out, because it didn't, and we can go into like all of my failures, because I have plenty. But but no, I don't regret taking that leap, because for me personally, I knew actually once I graduated my undergrad, I graduated it with IT. So my background is in computer science.
Okay.
And although I love that field, I love the knowledge, I actually even enjoyed working in that field. I knew at 23 or 4 or whatever, however old I was at the time, that this is not what I was supposed to do for the next, 50 years.
Got it.
I knew that then. So it was like, take advantage of it. I traveled heavily. I lived my best life, single in Dallas, and got the experience, because I think it's good to get the experience of working in a structured environment, and just kind of, learning systems and best practices. That was totally important. But I knew then that this was not my calling. I didn't know what it was. I'll be honest. I just knew that wasn't it.
Okay. Got it. So we're married. We came to the table with debt. We quit our job. We're cool. And then what? Because you quit your job to do what? This, right? Debt-free Divas.
I quit my job actually to open a laundromat. What? So I'm telling you. Yes, we owned a laundromat for 10 years over on 69th and King Drive. Right. Yeah.
Wow.
So that was the initial, step into entrepreneurship. We were and still are very much interested in social entrepreneurship and community development, and creating income, creating jobs and sustainable work opportunities for people who are maybe employed, have challenging work histories, right? Specifically in certain communities that I am personally vested in, but specifically underserved communities. And I will even go further to say specifically men. I feel like that there are so many ills in our community that stem from lack of employment opportunities for our guys. Yep. Which will allow them to be, the men that they need to be, husbands,
the heads
and
of the
fathers.
Household. I'll say it for you. The heads of the household.
Totally, right. And unfortunately, a lot of our young men get caught up very early in life with criminal records that just totally take them out of the scene for life. And I feel like, there's still a lot of creativity and ingenuity and work ethic in our community if people are just given a chance. So fast forward, we're like, how can we kind of leverage this? And we were looking around thinking about what could we do. At the time, I wasn't planning to leave my job, but so we were looking for something that we could do as part-time entrepreneurs.
Okay.
And so that's where the idea of the laundromat came in. And no, I don't think that the laundromat is the end all be all in terms of a career choice for somebody, but I felt like that was a good first start.
Yep.
That was our idea behind that. So once we opened the laundromat, then it became, we were kind of sold the idea of like a laundromat is a turnkey operation. You just open the door and it makes money.
Coin out
Not-
business, man.
I don't think that, I was like, that is not the case. And I don't know if that exists in any business. A business needs to be, you need to run it. You need to at least get your systems up in place, get your team in place. And so once we opened the laundromat, it became apparent that this was something that I needed to pay more attention to.
Yep.
And then again, I knew that what I was doing was not something that I was going to do long term. And so we took that step to say like, okay, that's when we first started looking at our budget. Like, okay, if your income goes away, can we still manage everything that we have to manage? And on top of that, I went to a conference with my mother in Detroit, and it was for her job, and she happened to go to this workshop with Dave Ramsey. Had never heard of Dave Ramsey at that time. So we're talking 2005.
Yeah.
We're talking like 2005. So I'd never heard of Dave Ramsey, but she got this book because he gave out this book. And so my mother and I are both avid readers, right? Read a lot. And I was like, oh, can I take this? And she said, no, because we live in different states. She's like, no, you can't take my book. You got to read it while you're here. So I read the whole book in 2 days. And the book Total Money Makeover changed my entire way of looking at personal finances. Again, I thought we were rock stars because we had the 740, 50, 80 credit score, right?
Yep.
But we at that point, so this is 2005, at that point, we had $45,000 in debt.
Okay.
And I told you we paid off 107. Right?
Oh.
So
that book didn't help for real. That book had to be like, I got all the debt management.
It was a starting point. So it was a starting point into a mindset shift, right? And so granted, I read it, I was convinced, but then we kind of fell back into some of our same patterns. And some of that comes along with opening a business, and then you get, expenses that come along with that. I told you I had some tax issues that came along with the business. And so like some of that a lot of that, I should say, had to do with kind of like trying to figure out how we're going to do this entrepreneurship. And we didn't do to me enough investigating and trying to understand the field that we were going into. And so we just like, they're going to give us a loan for $200,000 for this building that is basically falling apart, So yeah, so we made a lot. I'm telling you, we made a lot of financial head bumps against the wall. Yeah. But you asked me an interesting question earlier. Did I regret it? And I don't even regret all of the sleepless nights and the worrying about we were sued by the mortgage company. We've been through it. I had the ding 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 at the door when they came to serve us with the lawsuit. Like I thought I was going to jail.
Oh my God.
Yeah, we've been through it all. And do I regret it? Not one bit, because I think it makes you smarter.
Yep. And it makes you stronger.
And it makes you stronger. Yeah. Oh, absolutely. Absolutely. Because even though that business failed, ultimately it failed. We closed it down after about 10 years. And it was a bittersweet decision to have to make. I loved my team that I was working with. I felt like we were making a difference in the community. But at some point you have to recognize when you're not profiting, when you're not viable, and you have to pivot. And so we ended up being forced to close it down, actually, because we had a gas leak, and the expenses to fix the gas leak were going to be way too much. So we just made the decision to pull the plug. But even that experience kind of showed me like, wow, I'm actually a lot stronger than I thought. Like I can go into, like I was like handling myself on the south side of Chicago in a neighborhood that needs laundromats without any issues. You know what I mean? Yeah. So like
Yeah.
you deal, so I was like, I can deal with customers, I can deal with emergencies that come up, I can deal with employees. We learned all of the things necessary, the administrative tasks necessary to kind of make a business operate.
Yep.
While that one didn't flourish like I had hoped or wanted to, that desire to still be
Your own boss.
to be your own boss, but also to make a difference and a positive impact in the life of our community, that's still there.
Yeah, and I'm hearing you. I'm remembering Equimini Creations. I'm remembering battles with the landlord and running from people and stuff like that. And again, conversation is about Black-owned business, and that is part of the journey. And I didn't know what you were gonna say with the question, but you don't regret it, even all the stuff you're going through and wherever you are in this moment. You know, at the end of the day, and I'm listening to you, and not one point did you say, I want to become a millionaire. I want to become a millionaire. I'm in my 40s. I'm ready to become a millionaire. But
that's on my vision board. Don't worry.
Okay. But because I hear you, and it's a lot like me too. It's that the give back and I want to provide and I want to give people opportunities and things like that. And you do, as an entrepreneur, those are tough days to face when you've got to say, you know what, I can't do it all. I have to put my life vest on first or my mask on first. Those aren't easy days to face, especially when you're motivated to help others, because sometimes those others become the burden that you didn't ever need. That's why I took a whole break. I was a solopreneur and proud. Was okay with it. I had no payroll. Maze and I have been through it. As it relates to business ownership, I mean, I remember like having to make payroll is just not pretty.
Oh,
it's not
for us every week, payroll every week.
Every week. And then if you say payroll's at 3:00, listen here, at 2:15, they're lined up ready, and you over here still trying to balance where you about to get the rest of the last 1,000 to make sure, but the person with the $1,000 check is gonna go cash it first at the currency exchange next door. I get it. Like, from a business owner standpoint, it's not easy, but it's something that keeps us driven to do what we do. And you know, when you're called to do certain things spiritually, you know God provides all the time.
Yes, absolutely.
No questions asked. And
I think that's why we still do this.
Yep, because you know God provides at the end of the day, and you know that at the length of it, this journey or whatever the trial and tribulation that you're going through, it's for a reason. It may not be in the moment that you're in at the present moment, but it's for a reason. And I believe that even you being willing to, because I think one of the things the reason why I wanted to touch on this topic is we're so scared to talk about money out loud in person, in public. That's not what we do. You know what I mean?
Girl.
We stunt for the internet. We do what we have to do. We don't talk about the part where my credit was a 500 and it took me 2 years to build it up to a 700 because I disciplined myself to get to a point that I could get to where we don't talk about that. We only show the fancy things. We show or you hear the radio commercials. I was this and now I'm that. And then you're like, how we get to that though? I'm confused. And then it's a trust thing, right? So when we get back to Debt-Free Divas and the money management, I've got to trust you, right? I have to trust you. I have to be okay with being vulnerable about my money. I don't, I don't want to tell you everything. I don't know about that.
I don't want people in our business.
Right?
And that's what we say. Well, I don't want nobody in my business.
Right. Right. So let's fast forward. Let's fast forward a little bit. So you essentially, you had your first business, and then did you have another business? Did you go back to corporate America?
No. So actually, I started Debt-Free Divas while I was running the laundromat. So it's crazy. I had my first child. Okay. And she passed away. And actually, Debt-Free Divas kind of gave me a mental respite from the stress I was going through and the grief I was dealing with at the time.
Yep. Got it.
And so yeah, it did. It really gave me something else to focus, something productive to focus on.
Yep.
At the time, the laundromat wasn't consuming as much of my time, and we had been, again, slowly chipping away at the debt that we had built up, that we had amassed. And I was just feeling like, wow, I'm starting to learn so much. I told you I had read the Total Money Makeover.
Okay.
And then that triggered an interest in reading more about personal finances. So at the time I was living in the South Loop. So I lived at Harold Washington Library. And on the first floor in the popular section was all the finance books. And so I used to feel like I was going shopping. You know, I would go browse the popular section. Such a nerd of all the personal finance books. And I just read voraciously about, you know, how to be a millionaire. I picked up a book, a guy become a millionaire. He became a millionaire by 30, just different people's stories. Right.
Yeah.
And it was such a inspiration to me to keep going, because trying to dig yourself out of debt and kind of right your financial ship is it can be a long process. I had a podcast and I used to talk to people about their stories to get out of debt. And sometimes people have these like miraculous stories where they dumped all this debt in a year, but often more than not, it is a very long process. There's a mindset shift that needs to happen. There's some discipline, some habits that need to be built. And then you have sacrifices, right?
Sacrifices.
You know, if you're you know, single, you have to like figure out how you're going to, you know, stay committed to this. You have a family, you have to figure out how you're going to get them on board with what you're trying to do. So there's a lot to this process, and it doesn't just happen overnight. Yep. But one of the things we say, you didn't get into debt overnight. So you need to give yourself grace, be patient with yourself, because it's not going to be an overnight process. And it's okay if it's not an overnight process. It's okay if we don't all have a rich uncle somewhere who leaves us an inheritance where we can just wipe it all out. And actually, I even think that the process, the journey is part of the beauty of it, because I think it instills that discipline that you need long term to, once you get out, to remember you never want to go back. You know, and that's part of it as well. It's like not just getting out of debt, but like committing to a debt-free lifestyle.
Running from the repo man changes your whole game. Running from the repo man, you be like, oh,
it does. It's like you don't want to be in that position ever again. but it's a conscious choice. It's a conscious choice, conscious decision. And I think the process of taking that time where you have to step by step make those sacrifices, month after month after month, stay committed month after month after month. Maybe for me, it was reading. Reading was the way that I actually stayed, like, because every time I read somebody else's story, I was like, oh, well, they did this. And then, oh, well, they did this. And so I might try to incorporate a tactic from one person, or try to incorporate a tactic. Not everything worked for me. Mm-hmm. Not everything kept us on track. And like I said, we started with the 45. It ended up being 107. So it wasn't a straight A to Z process. There was some twists and turns, ups and downs. We go forward. I felt like sometimes we'd be going forward and take a couple steps back, and then you're tempted to get discouraged and just give it up and just, you know, continue living your best life. However, starting the Debt Free Divas was a way for me to like just kind of share that story that I was going through. Let people know that this is not, that you're not alone in this. Like you're not alone in this struggle. You're not alone in kind of going through what you want to do, and just kind of like connect and reach out. And I was like, if I was learning all this stuff, and I tell you, at that point I had 2 degrees, right? So I thought I was real smart, right? And I'm like, at this point in my life, I was probably my early 30s. I'm like, at this point in my life, if I'm learning all of this, and I've never, you know, like all of these things about personal finance, about budgeting, about credit, about you know, the ability to have a house that's paid off, you know, before I'm 70, because the only person that I knew at that point who had a home that was paid off was my grandmother, and she had lived in her home for like 40 years, right? So that was kind of my thought was, you know, every few years you move, you get you upsize, you know, every few years you upsize your life, you get a raise, you get a bigger house, you know, get a new mortgage, you know, and I was like, wow, that, you know, we don't have to live with debt from here on out. And that was, again, huge to me, huge change in the way I was thinking. We don't have to finance cars for 4, 5, 6, 7 years, you know, and then turn around and do it over again. Huge mindset shift for me. So that's the reason I started Debt Free Divas, kind of chronicling my journey, because again, I like to read, I like to share, I love to write. And so that was kind of it started kind of as the blog. There was, at the time I had 3 other partners. And so we were kind of having these conversations. I'm like, how many more women are in this position, or feeling like they're alone, or maybe feeling like they don't have anybody to chit chat with about this, or like you say, somebody that they can trust, somebody who's not trying to like take advantage of them or just push something down their throat.
It's being vulnerable, right? I think it's a few things. I remember a time when like the mail, just simply opening the mail was like not what we were doing. Right? Like just because you already knew, you didn't already swiped, you didn't already wore it, you didn't already
Yeah.
drove it, so you know what's in that mail. This is before
Right.
they can auto send you the stuff through the email. Now you could just ignore the emails and act like it doesn't exist unless you're signed up with Experian, and then Experian and Credit Karma remind you of all the
Right,
stuff you
right.
didn't do. Hold on a minute,
Exactly. Exactly.
right? And I
Exactly.
think that that's the part where I don't care where you are, if you are a business owner, not a business owner, at the end of the day, when you know you've got debt, would you agree that part of the initial part is you got to own that part, right? Whatever you got to do to cry it out, call Ron to get you some church music on in the background, and oh Lord, why me? And then face it, right? Is
Yes,
that
absolutely.
essentially?
That is key. That
Yep.
is so key. Yes, you need to, because if you don't know what you're dealing with, then you have no idea what you need to do. And a lot of times, here's something I tell a lot of people that I talk with. A lot of times it's not as bad as we think it is.
Right?
It's not, it's not as bad because we don't know. A lot of times we just like, oh Lord, you stick our head in the sand, like you say, ignore those bills, ignore the emails, turn the notifications off on the app, but
Sometimes
the
they want to cut a
process-
deal with you. Sometimes they be like, I know it was $3,572, but if you give me $1,700, we can call it a day.
And that is a big thing of kind of just realizing or getting a handle on where you are, because once you get a handle on it, then you can create a plan to get out of that situation. But if you don't know where you are, it's just going to be this continual thing where you're like month after month trying to ignore and deal with the emotions. And it's a very emotional, stressful situation. But I'm telling you, the freedom and kind of acknowledging where you are in your position, it starts with just kind of knowing where you are. Knowing where you are and making a plan. It's not going to change, but you don't feel like you are I guess kind of just blowing in the wind. You're not a victim of, you're kind of taking control of your situation. And I think that's what's important.
And that's what I appreciate about you and other financial coaches, but we're talking to you. So specifically, just because I think that we have to see us. And we have to see us out of it, but we have to also see us and be okay with talking about the journey. Like I said, I was in debt and now I'm not. Oh, well, what happened? And how many years did that take? And how many, and what were the relationships like? So for you, because what I also want to have happen from this, we've got a couple questions from the Facebook feed. Okay. What is the benefit of hiring you? Because this is a business, correct? Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. You are for hire, correct?
So I don't do individual coaching, but what I am doing, the benefit of working with my group is I believe that there's beauty in accountability.
Yep.
I think that's the best way that I can help my community. And so if you're interested, I'm actually in the process of launching my Transform Your Money accountability groups. We did a big test on this. I had 30 women in the group. Over 3 months, we paid off $33,000 in debt. Okay. And all that is there's some studies that show that you are 33% more likely to accomplish your goals if you write them down, share them with a friend, and check on them regularly. And that is kind of forms the basis of the accountability group. But here's the thing. I think that a lot of times in our circles, we may not have the people that are right for our accountability groups. Yep. You need to make sure that you're going to, and you might, and that's fine. You might do that. I talk about that in my book, The Great Debt Dump, how to form your own accountability group. Because my husband and I were accountability partners for each other, but everybody doesn't have that. Yeah. And so if you're not, maybe kind of hanging with the group of people that are like-minded when it comes to debt, because this is an equal opportunity problem, and it doesn't have anything to do with your characteristics as a person or your I don't know, your integrity or anything like that. It's just, if you don't know, you don't know. And a lot of times we haven't, think about it. Where did you learn how to manage money? Where did most of us learn how to manage money? Maybe it came from a parent.
Yeah. Maybe,
and if you had, as my ex-partner would say, if you hit the parent lottery, then you have some good training, right? But a lot of us necessarily hit the parent lottery, right? And so a lot of us didn't learn this in high school.
We learned on the college campus when they gave us that free T-shirt. That's when we learned about money. That's when it really started.
Exactly.
It's like, oh, this wasn't free? Oh,
Yeah, it wasn't in my
Yeah.
computer science training at the undergrad or the graduate level, right?
Right.
So it's like if you don't necessarily have this as somebody has shown this to you growing up, then where do you get that? Where do you get that training? And that's what it is. It's about training. It's about training, and then also, like I say, having an accountability partner or group to kind of walk with you through this process. It took us 7 years to pay off all of that debt.
7?
So 7 years. Mm-hmm.
That's
7
not
years
bad.
from start to finish.
So let's talk about that part. Did you feel like you struggled and didn't live life and didn't enjoy life? Like,
not at all.
Okay.
And that's
Because
the thing. I think if you can't.
When you think debt management, you think I'm like peanut butter and jelly. It is. Well, Reagan, I guess we're gonna have rice again today. I don't know what else to tell you. Like, were you guys? What are some of your? Don't give us everything, but like, what are some of the top things that you immediately recommend people do when they're looking to just kind of own the part where they're in debt and they want to work at it a little bit?
So the thing that you need to do first, bar none, is know where you are. So you need to write it all down. I know we have all of these fancy apps and great tools like Mint, and I highly advise people to use whatever tool they feel best. But I would say even before that, start with a pen and a piece of paper, and like seriously sit down and go through your finances, look back at your account over the last 30 days. Where are you spending money? Okay, because one of the things we try to do, and this is one of the things we did too, we were like, oh, we're going to have this wonderful budget. We're only going to spend $2 on fun, and we're only going to spend, $5 eating out this. And that's not realistic. That's not realistic. Okay, so you need to be realistic about where you're spending your money. Okay. This time of the pandemic has really given some of us an opportunity to really slow down. Okay, slow down and take our foot off the pedal of the things that we're spending money on. So this is a great time outside of, unfortunately, a lot of the sickness that's going on. But if you have the ability to really like sit back and analyze where you are spending money, think about where you're spending money on that are essentials: your rent, your mortgage, car notes, utilities, food. Those are essentials. Tuition, right? What are your non-essentials? Hair and makeup, right?
Hair is essential. Get off my podcast. Get off
those
the
things,
podcast.
those things are adjustable.
Those are for the Black people
Those
media.
things are adjustable, and we need to talk about that as
Don't
Black
nobody
women.
respect you when your hair's not done.
But let's talk about that, because yes, grooming is important.
Yep.
But what style you choose also makes a difference, right?
Yep.
And if we spend African American women, we spend 9 times more than our sisters of other persuasions on hair and makeup, on beauty, right?
And and not to cut you off, but that sentence is problematic because it's not like we're spending that money with each other or with ourselves. So we're taking that 9 times rate and then purposely and intentionally going to another community. I'm sorry.
$1.1 billion we're spending on hair and beauty aids. That's what we're spending in the African American community a year. Now, my thing is, yes, grooming is important. Keeping your self up is important, but how you do it, that is up to interpretation, right? And you can think about, do I need the style that's going to cost me, $200, $300, $400 every time I do it? Or can I do something that's just as glamorous, just as fashionable, but that's a fraction of the cost?
I put my rollers in this morning.
And again, and even here, let me even throw this point in there. It's temporary. It's temporary. You're making these choices temporarily until you get to a place that you want to be financially. Then do you? Then do you? And so you asked me, what are some of the things that I suggest? So the very first thing is really evaluate your spending. Do you need to spend on the things that you're spending? And be real. I mean, take a serious, realistic look at everything. I'm sorry, nails are not an essential. I'm talking to my sisters. Nails every week are not an essential. There is an alternative. to going to the nail shop. I don't know what it is necessarily because I'm not a nail shop person, but there is an alternative. Okay. Yeah. Maybe you do your nails yourself. You know, you get online on YouTube and figure out what you need to do, or you pick a different nail style. Again, temporary changes. Now, do I feel like, you also asked me, did I feel like I was, not living while we were going through this?
Like, yeah, like, did you, I mean, like, you, like, literally, we gonna watch The Wall today, kids. I mean, what, like, what does that look like?
Absolutely not. Absolutely not. And so here's one of the things that we did. We spent a lot of money on entertainment and travel. And I still love to travel, right?
Tiffany Merrills and Robert Patrice, listen.
I traveled all through my debt payment process. But now what I did is instead of, maybe the big trips to, an island where I'm staying at a resort. Right. I'm staying at a resort. Look at some places domestically. There's some nice beaches in the United States. There are places, maybe look at places locally where you can drive to versus flying. I'm going to be driving right now for a while anyway. But like, there's
Street Beach.
You're like, don't sleep on it, right? But are there places within 2 to 3 hours where you can drive that are just as nice, or just as much of a vacation? You get a vacation feel because you're outside of your normal
Gary,
operating
Indiana.
radius.
Gary, Indiana. Marquette Park Beach is beautiful.
Wisconsin, for us, Lake Geneva, Wisconsin is the Wisconsin Dells, 3 hours away. These are places that are going to be less expensive to get there, less expensive to enjoy yourself while you're there, but you still get your travel fix. And that's the kind of things that we did. Also, Chicago is a great town to live in, especially if you're trying to cut down on entertainment outside of the COVID situation, because there's a lot of free festivals. Man, I lived downtown in near Grant Park, and I was in every festival that, the dance festival, the taste, go to Little Lily, there's just all kinds of things that you can do to feel like that you are enjoying life, but you're not spending as much money. And that was a key way for me to stay committed, because I don't think that I would have stayed committed if I felt like this was a chore.
Yeah. Because I think that's part of it too, right? We get a little discouraged at the process. And like, even just hearing you say 7 years. So a few years ago, I opened up the mail, took that long, hard look at just life and what that was doing and what we were doing and how that did. And I said I wanted to build up my credit, and it took me a couple years. And I had some steps I took and things I did, but there, like, to your point, there were sacrifices that had to be made. And I think it's always just the start of the sacrifice. Right. Once you do it, once you don't, and once you realize that you have goals, like if you've got goals that and I think, and to your point, I think it does help when you have an accountability partner or someone that you could say, we're going to, in X amount of time, we're going to have this, or we're going to do this, because then you can be a little bit more disciplined around the debt management of it all and owning what that looks like. So that's all helpful. Where do you, to put that mom spin on it, what now? Because we just got finished saying, so we would like to believe that our children hit the parent lottery, Tony, right? Like our children hit the parent lottery. You just got finished saying my parents wasn't in the parent lottery. That's what you were saying. So what now as parents? Where are you guiding your kids? Because how old are your babies?
So one will be 9, and the youngest is 7.
Got it. So what conversations are you having, and what advice are you giving parents?
So the advice that I've received from my personal finance community is start early. Start early. Start with the piggy bank. As soon as they can start to understand the concept of money, we had the piggy bank, and when they were getting their birthday money or Christmas money, we put some of that.
When I ran out.
Yes, we put that in the piggy bank. And so for us, we're talking about savings. We're talking about tithing. We're talking about then, using the rest of it for, whatever it is you want. And then about a year ago, my kids, we started investment accounts for them. So we've actually opened up E-Trade accounts for them and started them into investing. We didn't put a lot in there. I put a couple $100 and let them pick a couple, they pick Disney and things that they know. the guy that writes those Dogman books, things that they were into. And so they bought a share, not even a couple, a share here, a share there, a share there. But then they're starting to watch it grow. So over the year, they've had positive growth in their investment accounts. And so that's something that, again, we're starting early with the ideas. Now, my son, he told me the other day that he wanted to be rich. Okay. And he was trying to figure out what he needed to do to be rich. And he was like, well, investing is going to take a long time. So because over this year, so he's trying to think like, what can I do to make a lot of money? Because I want to be able to buy a lot of PlayStations, right? And so those are the kinds of conversations that I'm having with him. Not necessarily just buying him things all the time too. Like the PlayStation, that's the big thing that just came out. Mm-hmm. How are you? That was our question. Okay, you want this. What are you going to do to earn the money to make this happen? Those are the kinds of conversations that also gets me out of having to buy it too. By the way,
I always say to Reagan, you go use your money for that? Okay, then why am I using mine?
Yeah, I'll put some on it, but you got to come up with some too. And even at 9, these are the kind of conversations that we're having. And I'm telling you, it's starting to. They're having these. They are starting to have these conversations in their classes, which I love. And so now he's able to. Contribute and tell his classmates the things that he's learning and things that he's starting to understand even at 9 years old. So yes, start early, and then it may be the time. Maybe you have older kids. Start now. It just because your children are maybe teens or a little bit older, you start now. We start with impressing on them the importance of savings. Every child should have a bank account. Every child should be, if they have a job, they should be putting some of that, a percentage of that in their account every paycheck. Get them in the habit of saving. Those are some of the things those are critical skills that we need to develop now that's going to carry us into adulthood.
Yeah. My parents growing up, we had very, if anybody listens to Maze, we had very strict rules all the time. But I'm going to say my dad had super strict rules as it related to work, because we knew getting out of church, if we got a job, we didn't have to go to church so much. But if you got the job, there were 2 rules: 10% tithe automatically off the top pre-tax for me. So I had to tithe off the pre-tax part. Yeah. And then 50% had to go in the bank. No questions asked. He's looking at stubs. He's verifying with the little bank book. No questions asked. I still do that to my daughter to this day. She looks at me as if I'm about right crazy until she gets her account statements in the mail. And then she's like, Mommy, this is my money? And I'm like, well, it's our money. But yeah, right? I mean, and I think from a parenting standpoint, you don't want to be and I could not imagine, like now, even when I tell Reagan, there are days when I'm just like, oh my God, I just told my baby she has to put half of her money. Well, what she got to spend it on? And I think that's where my dad was coming from. It's kind of like, nope, 10% off the tithe, 10% to tithe, so that you understand how your blessings flow. 50% in the bank. So now when you get ready to do something, because at the time we were working in high school, so when you get ready to go to college, now you've got multiple zeros. Yes. I don't have student loan debt. That was
good for you.
Yeah, like that was not a thing. My college gift, that my dad did give me, I think I took out like maybe $1,000, paid it off. I had no idea what that meant at all at the time. Now at 42, and I'm listening to people that are still paying for college, that to me is a little rough. Because now, kind of sticking to that children part, and we're almost out of time. This has been great, Tony.
Wow, it's fast.
I know. But it's the conversations now, especially when it comes to debt management. Are we really literally sending our children to college with the knowing that we are literally saying, if they didn't get scholarships, if they didn't get all of these things, are we literally saying, hey, I'd like to advise you as your parent to go out and make that bill right quick. So when you get ready to start your life, for those of you guys that didn't read that HuffPost article where the lady said, we're just sitting here trying to live the American dream, and now we're 718. Come on now. How does that work? You want to be a whole dentist, and now you got 700. When are you ever out of that? And I think that's part of the conversations and the continual conversations that I hope we continue to have. Like you said, whether it's through accountability groups, whether it's through platforms like this, or just amongst your friends, or being a little bit more open to following some of the blogs. Your website is great, by the way. I did a quick scan. You got a bunch of resources. Like a
Thank
bunch
you.
of just things that people. So for those that aren't ready to go down the Dave Ramsey path, we can definitely go down the Tony Husband.
I'm much
path.
nicer than Dave Ramsey. I'm not going to yell at anybody. I don't believe in yelling at people because we've always. I love, I appreciate the information, but I think the delivery is something that for me it just didn't feel good.
Yeah.
And you're already in a place where you are struggling about what you're, where you've been and trying to figure it out. Yeah, I'm not going to yell at anybody, but what we will do is help you stay accountable to the goals that you set.
Yep. And I think all that matters. Tony, we are for real legit out of time.
Oh, wow. Okay.
That's crazy, right? Talk real quick. Tell us, just tease for the Mom Squad. You're doing something with Money Week. I said yes immediately. Right. I read it, but I
so
didn't.
Money Smart Week is April 10th through 17th, and we are going to be doing a daily Money Smart Week post and activity. And on Thursday of that week, we're going to be doing a cocktail hour. So we're going to be talking about budgets, which get your cocktail and let's talk about your money.
I need a liquor sponsor. That was where I volunteered. I volunteered to find a liquor sponsor for our event.
So we're gonna let our hair down and let's just kind of talk about all of our money, the things that we don't generally feel comfortable talking to other people, because this is a judgment-free zone.
Yep.
And I tell you all, I bear all my mistakes because I feel like I want you to know that you can make these mistakes and still recover and still thrive.
Yep, I love it. Tony, thank you.
Yes, thank you for having me. And also, again, I just invite people to visit my site, debtfreedivas.com. If you want to get started, if you want to join my mailing list and get information about the upcoming Transform Your Money accountability groups, you can do that there.
And I dropped that Amazon link for that $15 paperback book, The Great Debt Dump.
Debt Dump. Thank you so much for that.
You're very welcome. Thank you all. You guys have been tuned into Minding Our Black-Owned Business here on What's in It for the Black People Media. Audience, I appreciate you all. Jamalita, I see you. Yashika, I see you. Tiffany, I see you. And everybody else, I appreciate you. Tiger, we always see you, so we appreciate you. Thank you, Mary. Thank you, Ron. And I just would like to note, Ron interrupted my show to get that cake and put it properly wherever it was supposed to go. So salad for you, Mary. All right. Thank you all. Up next is The Green Side of Things with Chauncey and Cassiopeia. All right. Thank you, guys.
WIFTBPM.
Baby, let me steal it. I gotta steal it. Don't you wanna steal? I've got to see you somehow. Not tomorrow, but right now. I know it's late. I can't wait. Come on and steal. Don't wanna keep thinking I might change my mind. Everybody's sleeping. Let's not waste any time. I know it's late. Oh, I can't wait. Come on and steal. Oh, steal. I know that it's wrong meeting you this way. There's no other way I can be with you. If only your folks would have.
Oh, baby. I mean, I know that you're here with me and everything, but since you just left a few hours ago, I've just been going crazy. And I done come to realize one thing. Oh, baby, I miss you. Some kind of drug, baby.
WIFTBPM. We wake up every day to these tests as we strive to be great, and they keep coming, but we gotta persevere, y'all. Yeah. Thin line, mastermind, mind of the master. Which one of you after? Thin line, mind of a god, mind of a captain. Which one of you after? Thin line, mastermind, mind of the master. Which one of you after? Thin line, mind of a god, mind of a captain. Every minute I fight with lethargy, striving to be godly. With an intelligence quotient exceeding numerology. Scholar body honorary, school of prophet alum. Anthropomorphized lessons so I could become the heartbeat of righteousness. The everyday fight to pump the blood of kings. Breathe the breath of life. Moving up like Confederates in Yankee territories in the 17th century. But it's a thin line between divinity and iniquity. Mason Dixon hitting incompletion decisions. Division between symptoms of a phenom and a psychopath. Gifted in asinine. I won't erase that vertical line on an incline that divides them. Climbing out this box in my mind, it's like having altitude sickness on alpine expedition. Genius vision never fixed in on the depth below. Focus on elevation where others never dare to go. And brainiacs ain't contained in that receptacle. Incredible creative energy becomes perceptible. The cerebral can be an evil alter ego, a true pal, and you shall become legendary and futile. Development of a god. I sleep between dates on the calendar. Can't escape a date with a challenger. Now that's a blind date in the field division, but my other senses reveal I'm winning. Yeah. The thin line, mastermind.
It is Tuesday, and welcome to the green side of things. It's your man Sadiq.
And I am Cassiopeia.
And what's happening out there, people? How are you today?
I am awesome. How are you?
I'm good. I'm good.
Good. How was your weekend?
It was different. I'll put it that
different.
way. Yeah, it's a lot going on.
You kind of you feeling better?
Yeah, I'm getting. Thursday I was like, oh, Cassie, and then the weekend, and then but I'm good though. It's a lot of self work going on.
Come on now. That's where it's at. It's always on the self work, man.
Just working on myself. So, and being real with the process.
That's right. Well, we doing this, and tell the people what they need to do.
We need you all to like.
Yes, comments.
And share.
That thing.
Share it right now, y'all. Share it right now. We got a great show for you, and I'm just happy to be in the studio with my friend, my part, like Cassie is, she's just wonderful, you all. Just beyond the camera and all that. I know she come off a certain kind of way, and
I play all day.
We trying to deal with that, but Ryan, what's up, baby?
What's up?
What's going on, my people?
You all good?
I'm good. I'm great.
So Ryan, you be scaring me with the whole. You're supposed to be doing the February meatless thing with us.
I can't do nothing.
No, but cake has eggs in it, so it's yeah.
So I was gonna ask you about that because I've been eating eggs all month.
Right. What was he was eating last week when we came in? We
shrimp.
Oh yeah. We finally got over that. Hey, I tell you what, we just gonna take this month to get you ready.
Fish is meat.
We gonna take this month just to get
now
you ready.
I can't have cake. That's crazy.
Yeah.
Well, you
can have cake. It just can't have eggs and.
You just gotta do it. It's a little work.
I'm gonna bring you some. How about that,
sister? They did the taste of vegan with them damn cakes.
Oh, I know you.
She got a big family.
You talking about Cassia?
Man, listen.
Yeah, it's crazy.
Them the best. Right. First of all, they're not just good vegan cakes.
No, it's good cake.
It's damn good, light, fluffy.
Right. I knew where you were headed.
Sweet.
Alvin, what's up, bro?
Cake. It's so good. It's really good.
Yeah, I'm on 10 now, and I
love sweets.
I want to do the same thing
Me too.
that Tenille did, which was acknowledge the Wiftaba audience.
Hey,
what's
up?
What's up in it for the Black people? Media viewership is off the chain. Yes. You guys are great. You tune in. You work with us. You want to know what's going on, and so we just want to let you know that we appreciate you, especially from the green side of things.
Yes.
But we want you to come on in, join us at the lunch table, grab your lunch. We know you're at home or potentially, maybe back and forth to work, but join us. We've got some great conversation for you today.
Yes, we do. And I'm about to look for all my peoples that, that be on here, like what we call them. We call them like the green loyalists.
We got to work on that. We'll work on that. We're coming up with a name. We're coming up with something so we can acknowledge.
What should y'all name?
Yeah, we want to acknowledge the fact that you all tune in every week to catch not just us, but there are people who do tune in and enjoy what we bring on the green side of things. So we got Sabrina out there. We got Alvin that's out there. We really appreciate you all and want to say what's up. So it's definitely appreciated. So we need you to go ahead and just hit that share button, hit that like button, and let the people know that we're having a conversation. We're going to talk a little bit about brain trauma and Alzheimer's today. And then we're going to go on the backside of that and talk about how to make some plant-based dishes. We're going to talk to a chef who has a 100-pound weight loss story.
Damn.
And has worked that into his enthusiasm about plant-based foods and certified chef. He does videos and everything. Matter of fact, I got a chance to check him out. He did made jambalaya for vegan jambalaya for Fat Tuesday a couple of weeks ago, and it's up. So we're going to talk to him, and so we're going to have a great show for you guys. I want you to stick around and join us for the conversation. Cassie, what's up with the Black Mom?
Man, listen, the Black Mom, we just can't wait. It's cooking, y'all. We are almost ready. We are about to launch something really, really big. Ooh. And we're going to be launching it with the Plant-Based African.
Oh, I was going to say, can I be a part of it?
Absolutely. We're going to be doing something that just brings all of this together. So I'm just going to say, if you are a Black-owned business, whether you have a service or a product, or you're a brick and mortar, get connected with theblackmall.com right now. Join our mailing list. Find out how you can be a part of the network, because it's about to go down and you are not going to want to miss. It's going to be amazing. We got something cooking in, someone's cooking in
Someone's
the
cooking in the kitchen?
I don't know.
That's all right. It's cool.
Yeah,
Cool.
I forgot. I think
it.
it's an old slave song anyway, so I'm going to sing it.
Yeah.
So that's fine.
And I don't know it. And I don't
Someone's
know it.
in the kitchen with Dinah. You know that.
Oh, yeah. Is that
Someone's
really
in the
a
kitchen,
slave song?
No.
Right.
Damn, Ron. What year were you born?
I don't know, but I remember that tune.
Oh, okay. You was sitting around at your grandmama's feet or something.
That old soul.
Like, little Ryan, get over here.
Yeah, it's
and
one
bust
of
up
them.
this shifero.
And then they go, yeah. You know, it's crazy. It's one of those type of joints. So, yes, though. But I'm super excited. I can't wait to let you guys know.
Hey, time out. Shout out to the What's in It for the Black People Media Heat. It is on fire
I
in
told
here.
you, listen, if y'all follow me, if you're
Ryan,
friends with Cassie on.
Gee, I'm sweating. My hands are sweating.
Is that heater plugged up over there?
I don't know. No. It's just warm in
Listen,
here.
when you live in Chicago and you've been enduring this -20, -37 degree weather, when it gets to be 40 degrees outside, it's like, woo, the birds are summertime.
Well, that is a 50-degree adjustment.
That's-
If it's -8 and you go to 40.
Because your body has adjusted. You got to do it every day. We've been living with this for the last 2-3 months. So it's just like, yes, I came outside like, woo.
Gee,
I unzipped my coat. I cracked my window.
I got to put the hoodie up. Gee, I am burning. Ryan, I am burning up in here.
I see you. But
Like, the lights are on, and it's, I mean, I get it. It's a studio and all, but I'm like, my goodness.
Sheesh.
My melanin has kicked in. It is
Listen.
working, right?
If it's hot for you, we really need to adjust it because Izwiz's going to have a problem.
Damn.
Oh, that's true. And they complained real hard about 2 weeks ago.
Listen,
Yeah.
real quick though. They never say from anybody. Everybody jumps in on the roast session when it comes to Herbert too. That's because they give everybody else so much.
Oh, they give everybody.
You gotta stay battle ready up in here.
You do. Like Ron,
You
this
listen
is his
to them when I'm on.
this is his time to relax. Cause come 3 o'clock, he cannot catch a break.
All these in early.
Yeah, absolutely. Hey y'all, I see you all popping in. Maganiel, what's happening? It's great to have you. Hey, he's from the East Coast. That's our New York constituency.
Yes.
Hey, Doc. Audrey Tanksley just jumped in. What
Actually,
is
that was me
happening?
tagging Audrey.
Oh, that's you
I know
tagging
who
her?
our listeners
She coming
are,
on.
and
Peace
I'm
to the
hitting them.
gods.
I'm hitting
Yeah.
them. I need to become friends with everybody so that I can tag all of my people when they not in there immediately.
And so our brother Eugene Gino McIntosh just got it. And let me give a shout out because we're in the same spot, but they have Monday,
Got it.
Wednesday, and
Yes,
Friday
yes.
on the soil. Like guys,
Shout
if you
out,
don't
yes.
check,
The
I
bigs.
actually let me tell you what I did. I stopped part of my ESPN viewership just to catch on the soil because
Dope.
I mean, I could watch, I'm not going to say white guys all day because they got black correspondents and all that. But when I can get hometown plus national plus
Yeah.
in-depth,
Yeah.
the same stuff that I would get, you know what I mean? Because I think
Yeah.
that's the whole is ESPN shinier. Like, guys, you got to check out these two brothers on the soil. It is like real talk, man. They put it down. And so it's 100. I just want you to know that. Appreciate what you all do in that show from a sports fan.
Yeah, for sure. They gave us the fist bump right back at you.
Yeah,
Gee,
no
you
doubt.
hot.
Gee, I'm telling you, I'm starting to come down. I don't
He's
know.
perspiring.
Gee, it's
He
warm
over
in
here
here.
glistening.
Get you a fan.
No, I don't.
He's
need
like,
a
"You don't go
fan
too
in any
far."
of that. No, it's warm in here. Okay, Cassie. So I got to do this. I got to do a soul vegan spoiler.
Come on. Oh, they got something new?
Well, it's not new, but don't nobody know about it.
Okay.
And I'm probably gonna get in trouble for talking about it.
Get in trouble. I like trouble.
I know you do, but I'm not really. Yeah, okay. I'm gonna enjoy getting in trouble on this one. So every Tuesday, now this is a contract, right? But they also have stuff that's left over. I got inside information, and they've been doing this under the radar. Listen to this,
Don't
Ryan.
do
You're
it
gonna
on
like
Wall
this.
Street.
They've been doing this under the radar. They have a contract where they do different types of lunches. You can't find it in Whole Foods like their regular set menu. So they do stuff like meatball subs. They do curry chickpeas over rice. They do all kinds of stuff like burgers with the what type of fries? The wedge fries, and they just do it on Tuesdays, right? So here's what I'm suggesting. But because it's a contract, right, you can't just make just enough. They have some of those lunches that other people could get. So
Ding, 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 ding,
ding, ding, ding. I think we're going to have to start now. You would probably have to pick it up from their facilities. They're on 31st Street, right? But I think if you all want to get in on some of that you really should. And I think I don't even know if they're equipped to for you guys to call and request that, but I'm gonna get in trouble.
And just kind of like show up and see what they got.
Yeah. Well, no, but maybe we could get an inkling on Thursday
It's like a
and tell you
secret
all what's
menu at
available,
Starbucks.
or put it in our now. Yeah. You don't because today is curry chickpeas over rice.
Listen, I made a curry chickpea dish.
I know, and you did a mushroom sandwich yesterday too.
did.
You dropped it live.
The portobello
I loved
mushroom
it.
sandwich it's awesome. You gotta
loved
try
it.
it.
Sound
Ryan.
good.
It's
It-
really
man,
good.
it was something else.
And it's juicy. So it's like the portobello is like thick, and then it gets real juicy. And I throw on there some red onions. I got the chow cheese that melts, and then I put on there some Stubbs barbecue sauce.
Ooh, Stubbs is fire too. Vegan and fire. And
no
no high fructose corn syrup.
fire.
It's fire.
My baby who ain't even 2 yet, she says, "Mommy, it's good."
Cassie, do me a favor.
Yeah.
I'm gonna get all the way in trouble.
Do it.
Type this number
Yo.
in there.
Yo.
Y'all, you gotta call and ask about the Green Side Tuesday. I'm renaming it. It's the Green Side Tuesday special. And tell them you want the meatball sub. Tell them whatever. It's 773 494 5768. That's Brother King's direct number. Brother King, that's so vegan. He is he's one of the owners and he is the president of marketing for the company. So I don't even know. I give out his number out. That's not even the.
You said the meatball sub?
Yeah, ask him about the meatball. I don't know. Today is curry chickpeas over rice. I don't know what next Tuesday is. I just like the idea of the meatball sub. But they come up with the menu, and it's not on their regular menu. It's totally different from what they do. tell them you want a piece of that. Tell
Hell
them
yeah. I want a piece of that.
I want a piece of it. So we getting it next Tuesday. We getting there we go. What's up, Will? My brother Will Williams is in the audience. What's happening?
Will.
Plant-based for life. He's out there.
Hey, Will.
I love it. So y'all got to call him and surprise him.